That turned out to be the worst thing that ever happened. Hey guys, welcome to Britt Nation. If you are new here, I'm so happy that you decided to click onto my channel today. I am the one and only Brittany Brianna, and we're gonna get deep today, y'all. So this is a video that I've been wanting to make for a while, but I just kind of have been waiting, till I really felt comfortable to talk about it publicly, at least. So today we're going to be talking about why I decided to move to Atlanta with no job, y'all, and do I regret it? So definitely make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. I want to know y'all thoughts. Have you ever thought about moving to a new city without a job, or have you done it? Whatever, just comment, let me know. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So before I was living in Atlanta, I was living in Maryland. I was about to say I was living in Georgia, but I was living in Maryland, and life was great. It was the happiest I've ever been. It's the most money I've ever had. It's the most free I've ever felt. So it was definitely a radical decision of me to make. And it was almost kind of they say if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I kind of broke something. I tried to fix. I didn't try to fix something that wasn't broken, but it was the point I'm trying to make is that there was no real reason for me to leave. So what made me decide to make the decision? So first of all, let me just say I know that Atlanta is a really, really popular city to live in, and it's a lot of people who love to come and travel here. A lot of people look forward to life in Atlanta, but I personally didn't really know what the A was. Everyone loves Atlanta, people want to move here, this is people's dream city. I didn't know why. It wasn't nothing that I was looking into. Personally, I was really comfortable in Baltimore. I loved Baltimore. I went to school in Baltimore. I was ready to buy a house in Baltimore, and those were the next steps for me. I was getting ready to start looking for houses, starting to save my money. If I pulled out my journal, my goal for 25 was to buy my first house, and it was going to be in Baltimore or Maryland at least. So anyway, I never really had a desire to live here or to live in Georgia. I never saw it for myself. And so in March of 2021, we had surprised one of my best friends with a birthday trip to Atlanta, and we were out, and I literally just got this supernatural feeling that came over me, and it was I'm supposed to be here. And it's one of those things, if you're super spiritual, you get it, but it was literally something that I cannot explain. I just knew I'm supposed to be here. I literally just felt it, and it just came out of nowhere. And then we were at Boogaloo Lounge, and that's why every time I go there, it's always a full circle moment. But we were there, and basically I just literally started mapping out everything. It was all right, if I'm gonna live here, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna fat, literally the whole entire plan just was all right, bet this is what I'm gonna do. And all of my friends were okay girl, we know that this is what you're thinking about, but can we turn up, can we think about that later? But it's I just couldn't shake it. It literally was a feeling I could not shake. And so I went home and I fasted for 3 days, and I was just okay, God, I have this feeling, and the feeling feels so strong, and it's I literally cannot shake it. So it's is this what you want? Is this what you've had in store for me, or what? And so when I fasted, I literally was I didn't get that's actually the most clear I've ever heard or ever felt God talk to me in my life. Typically I feel I ask God for things, and then I'll ask God for things, he'll give me a sign and say yes, and then I keep asking okay, God, are you sure, and then it's he won't say nothing else. But this time I felt God did not allow me to second guess it at all, because if there would have been any sign that was unclear, I wouldn't have did it. But literally it was so many clear signs. Then I started thinking back to every time. So I think before I lived in Atlanta, I probably traveled here maybe 3 times. I came for Spell House, their homecoming. I came for a pageant when I was Miss Morgan, and then I came I came that time for my friend's birthday. But like every time I would come, I would always get this feeling to be like, I could see myself here. Like if I ever decided to move, I would move here. But like I never had a desire to live here. And I always thought like, okay, well, I'm just on vacation. So it's like, you know, when you on vacation, you like, your mind is just everywhere. Like, you know, you're not really thinking necessarily always logically. Like you're just like, you know, basing your decision based off the trip that you had or like how much fun you was having or whatever. So that's a big part of the reason why I really had to fast and like make sure that it was what I wanted, because I mean, no. I really had to fast and make sure it was something that God wanted, and make sure that it wasn't like me just being on vacation, like having fun. But y'all, when I say I was literally getting so many signs, like yes. And then it's like anytime I would second guess it, because then I started to really think, and I was like I'm happy in Baltimore. Like I'm happy. Like I had a really good job, y'all. Like, and it's like I still, when I think back to the like present day, when I think back to my job, I'll be like, yo, I probably would have got like a promotion by now. Like I genuinely felt like I could grow at the job that I was at, and I felt like they wanted me to grow there too. Like it was literally a perfect job. Like I mean, not perfect because no job is perfect, but it was perfect for me at that stage in my life. And so yeah, so like I just like I would have moments where I'd be like like I don't know if I really want to do this. Like maybe I will move, but maybe because this happened in March and my lease was up in July. Like I had to be out, I think like July 15th or something like that. So basically I was like, okay, like maybe I'ma just wait, like maybe I'm gonna give it another year. But like anything, like I swear y'all, anytime I try to back out of it, like I asked my lease people like, okay, like can I just go month to month until like I make the decision? Like they said no. Like it just was like anything that tried to stop me, it just was like, you know. And I was in my graduate program at the time, you know, getting my master's degree. So like the first sign was like I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can finish my master's program, because if I can't finish my master's program or do it virtually, then I'm not gonna go. They said I can do it online. Then literally like everything else started aligning. And y'all, when I say like I would have a conversation, like I remember one time I had a conversation with like one of my supervisors, and at the time I never told her that I was about to leave or like anything, and she was just like, you know, like I really want to see you grow here. Like what are some positions that you could see yourself in, like moving forward, like all this stuff. So after we had this conversation, I was like, all right, like I'm not about to leave, because it's like what's the point of like, you know. And then like the cost of living is technically, which is really not true, but like the cost of living in Maryland, you know, is higher, so they pay more in Maryland. So I kind of was just like, all right, well, I'll go, but if I go, like I have to get a good job. You get what I'm saying? Because like, what's the point of leaving this job if like they want to see me grow? Girl, I left that place and I literally got on Instagram, and the first post I seen, it was like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's time for you to move to a new city. Like it would be clear signs like that. And the craziest thing about it is that post, if I'm not mistaken, came from Boogaloo. And it was like a full circle moment. And if it wasn't that post, it was something else that they posted. And I was like, yo, God is speaking to me. And when I went in to click the post no, actually, that was a whole nother post. So I seen the post. I was like, okay, well, I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's time for you to move to the city. That was one thing. Then I seen another post, and it was like, I feel like God is about to like make a major shift in your life or something like that. And I went to go repost it in the Boogaloo Lounge that where I was when I got that feeling of like I'm supposed to be here. That's who made the post. So I'm like, yo, God is like really, really speaking to me. So I just started doing some thinking and reflecting, and I'm like, all right, well, I have enough money saved up that like I can go out there and I'll be fine for at least like 3 or 4 months, you know, and with no job or like no like consistent income, but like I'll be able to pay my bills. And obviously like as soon as I get there, like I'll look for a job or whatever, because like I wasn't really finding jobs that had the same salary as to like what I was making. And it was just like, I told myself like, it's something that I make now or make more, because it's like, what's the point of going backwards? But fast forward, the worst freaking time of my life. Okay, I got to Atlanta and it felt like my life went downhill, y'all. Like it literally was just like, did I make the wrong decision? Like, because what is going on? And it's crazy because it's like, as soon as I got to Atlanta, I stopped hearing from God. Like I was hearing from God so clearly. Like I would pray something, and I promise y'all, like that day, like it wasn't even like I was praying one day and then days went by and then like I would get an answer prayer. It was like that day, like God was not letting up. Like, and I feel like he did that because if he didn't do that, I wouldn't have moved. But anyway, fast forward, like I said, I get to Atlanta, I stop hearing from God. I'm praying like crazy. He's not answering. He's not saying anything. So I started really getting upset with God because I'm like, why would you tell me to move to another city and you're not going to help me? Like, what? That makes no sense. Like, I was really, that's how I was feeling. Like, cause I'm like, I need, like, it's like, well, I didn't really want to be here. So it's kind of like, what's going on? But, yeah, so y'all, when I say that was like literally, it felt like the worst time of my life. Like as time began to progress, that's the brokest I've ever been. It's the most unsure I've ever been. It's the most confused I've ever been. Like it literally was just like, what is going on? So when I first moved to Atlanta, I had so I first moved out here, whatever, and I instantly became a bottle girl. So I enjoyed that honestly because it was like I could go to work, I could smoke hookah, I could drink, I could chill, I could meet people, and I don't have to like use my brain. You get what I'm saying? And then it's like I leave with money every single day, and I'm damn near making the same amount of money here that I was making like every 2 weeks with my full time. So that was cool. It felt serene. It felt at peace. Like I was at peace. You get what I'm saying? Like I felt like I had a lot of time to like pray and think, and that's the most at peace I was while I was here. Then I had got an opportunity to work for a celebrity who I am going to choose not to say who, but I got the opportunity to like work for a celebrity and I was her personal assistant. So I was like, when the so I'm actually cracking up right now that that happened because I'm actually babysitting right now, and I guess the baby just like kicked something down. He's upset. He wants his mommy. But it's a live description of my life. So anyway, yeah, so when the opportunity like presented itself, I'm like, oh, okay, like this is what God brought me down here for, because it's like I'm a whole celebrity's personal assistant, like literally like doing everything with and for her. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and that was just like a random opportunity, but like at this point while I was out here, I'm like literally like every little thing, I'm like, okay, God, like what is it? Because clearly you brought me here for something. So I feel like I was like expecting something instantly to come out of it. But anyway, that turned out to be the worst thing that ever happened to me because my peace went from a 10 to a 0. And that shit was just like, oh my God, like it was just extremely stressful. And it wasn't about the opportunity, it was just about the person and like just who she was and how she treated me and how she treated her team, and just the way that it was just like it wasn't worth it. Like it's like, okay, yeah, you have millions of dollars and you have this sense of fame, but like to be around you all day every day is like, it's not worth it. Like, and it's like I feel like I believe in myself enough to know that where I'm meant to go, I'll be able to go. You get what I'm saying? But when I decided to walk away from that opportunity, I feel like that's what really sent me into a depression, because for me, I felt like once I had the opportunity, you know, obviously I'm thinking like, okay, this is what God had for me. Like I'm thinking that that was what was for me. So I wasn't expecting it to be the way that it was. And once the opportunity presented itself, I thought it was going to be one of those things where like I was going to do that, and then that was going to open some more opportunities for me, and then it would just go from there. Like I didn't think that I was going to like do that and then do nothing. And so like at this point, like now money's getting low, because obviously like at that point, you know, like I stopped being a bottle girl, where it was like I was used to getting money every single day. And so not only was I used to getting money every single day, but like the first week that I was like working for her, it was basically like a trial period, so she didn't pay me, so that like took my account down. Girl, it was like literally a mess. But anyway, so at this point I'm like, okay, so what am I about to do? So then like probably like 3 days after I quit, like I seen this girl on Instagram and she was like looking for a assistant at like a beauty bar. So I'm like, okay, perfect. Like I'm gonna just do that. Like I'm gonna be able to like meet people. I'm gonna be able to, you know, just get out the house, whatever. That never came through. So like when I stopped working for who I stopped working for, I felt comfortable because I'm like, okay, well, just that fast something else came through. So I'm pretty much waiting to start this opportunity that I'm talking about for like 3 weeks. Nothing ever happened. So I'm like, all right, I have to just move forward. So at this point, I'm applying for jobs, and I will be honest, like I did go through a phase where I felt like I wasn't doing as much as I can to get, you know, a job or to like bring that sense of income in. But it's like I was just waiting for God, like, because I just felt like if you want to tell me to come out here, then why wouldn't you tell me what to do? You get what I'm saying? So it's like I wasn't really interested in just like applying for a job and starting for a job, because at that point, like I felt like, you know, there's something here for me clearly that I'm supposed to be doing. So anyway, not hearing from God, not hearing from nothing. So I'm like, all right, well, clearly I have to like take matters into my own hands, because it's like I have to pay my rent, you know. And it's so crazy because it's like as much as I have gone through since I've like had no job and since I've been living out here, like one thing that God has made sure of is that my rent and my bills are taken care of. And you know, like I've never been the type of person, and it's not to say anything against anyone who is, but like me personally, I really don't like asking people for money. No matter how broke I am, because it's like I be feeling broke, and then it's like I feel like if you give me money, I'm gonna be even more broke, because when I get money, I'm gonna have to give it right back to you. So it's like I just rather not even be in even more debt than I'm in. But like just certain people, like, you know, and that's why it's so important to have like really good friends in your life, because it's like randomly, like I would never ask, but it would just be people like offering and be like, here girl, I'm about to send you some money, and like I would just use that money to like pay my bills. But this whole time, like I was not going out. So like I remember one time like my friends came to visit and they're like, all right, so where we going, who we hanging out with? And I was just like, I don't really know, like I don't be out, like, you know. But that gets depressing too. Like I felt like it didn't feel like my apartment was closing in on me, but it was just like I'm here all. The only time I was leaving my apartment was literally to walk my dog. Like, and that, like, if I had to, like, go run an errand or something, I would. But it's like, really, what was I even doing? Because, like, I didn't have nowhere to go. I didn't have no money, like, nothing. Like, so if y'all had watched, like, one of my previous vlogs, like, I hadn't got my hair done in 4 months. Like, it was just so weird. And, like, I've always been a girl, like, I love to keep my hair done. I love to keep my nails done. Like, I love to look cute. So actually, I wore this outfit in honor of like, don't think I'm corny, but I wore this outfit in honor of like what I've been going through, because basically like before I moved to Atlanta, I remember like I was listening to this podcast. It was actually I don't know if she lives in Atlanta or she's from Atlanta, but y'all know Pinky Cole, the one that's like the owner of Slutty Vegan. But I was listening to like a podcast from her one time on Your Bossiest Friend podcast, and she was just talking about how like clothes hold energy, and she was just talking about how like not being afraid of like letting go clothes and stuff like that, like as you move into new seasons of your life, because it's like, you know, certain energy just need to stay behind. So I got rid of so much, you know, before I moved to Atlanta, because it's just like, okay, like this is behind me now, not knowing that I was gonna, you know, be going through what I'm going through now. So like I say this to say, like this has literally been my one and only outfit for like so long. So if you like go on my TikTok or like go on like, you know, my recent videos and stuff like that, like you'll probably see this outfit a couple of times, because it's like this is all I had. So it's like if I had to look cute or if I had to do something, like I was gonna wear this outfit, and I'm so tired of it. But it's like it's true to me at this point. But anyway, so fast forward, I'm just like without a job, and I'm like, okay, like what am I gonna do? So I was literally just applying for several jobs. So I had just so happened to apply to Chick-fil-A. Like I seen on LinkedIn that they were looking for a manager, so I had applied for it. Not even like I'm just like I'm never gonna work there, but like let me just make myself feel good at the fact that like I'm putting in several applications, and they were looking for a manager. So of course they called me back, and of course, y'all, I promise y'all, I've probably applied for over like 60 jobs at this point, and of course they're literally like one of the only one out of think of two jobs that have called me back like so far. So they called me back, they give me an interview. So I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I'm like just trying to be productive at this point. So I had 4 interviews with them. Chick-fil-A, 4 fucking interviews. Brittany Dorsey with her motherfucking bachelor's degree, halfway done her master's program, podcast host, this badass, 4 interviews with Chick-fil-A, and I didn't get the job. So I'm like, what in the world? So of course, like, I don't care, because it's like I never wanted to work there, but it's like, what? But anyway, I'm so desperate at this point. So I call him back and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I know I didn't get the manager role, but like, if could I still be considered for a team, like a team member? So they say yeah. So y'all, I pull up my first day of work, and I'm like, yo, I see them outside on them iPads. I'm like, nah, I don't think I can do it. I like, my pride is just like, I don't think I could do that, bro. So like, I'm calling all my friends. I'm like, yo, be honest with me. Like, what do y'all think I should do? Because I'm like, I'm here right now, and I just feel like I'm about to just DoorDash. Because I was DoorDashing. Like, I did DoorDash. Like, but that's something that honestly I should have been doing. Like, I waited to start DoorDashing until I was at my breaking point. But it's like, if I would have just been coming out here and like just working, like, until I heard from God. Because eventually it got to the point where I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna just use what God already gave me in previous seasons, and it's like, until he brings me to whatever it is that he has for me. But anyway, like I said, I was DoorDashing at the point where it's like, now this is literally like, I need every single penny instead of it being money on top of whatever I had. So anyway, I'm like, should I just DoorDash? Like, I really don't want to do this, y'all. Like, I cannot, like, no. So they're like, Brittany, just go in, like, just relax. Like, I know it's your cry right now, but just like, you need the money, just go in. So I'm like, yo, bro. Like, I remember my first day of training, and they're like she gave me my uniform, and then like, I had to keep going in the bathroom, like, okay, go tuck your shirt in, go put the mask on, you have to fix your belt. And I'm like, I felt like I was being defiant, but I'm like, bro, I just genuinely do not want to be here. So long story short, I started working. I worked there for like 2 weeks. And yo, I told, you know, when you want a new job, you tell them you got open availability. I told them I had open availability, not thinking that they won't be scheduling me at 5 o'clock in the morning. So yo, like, literally they gave me like 40 hours a week for work. So I would have to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning to work until 2. Yo, one thing about me, like, I don't have super hairy arms, but I got like hair on my arms. Like, that's just something. I don't like to shave my arms, whatever. There's a reason why, but I'll tell you that in another video. But like, yo, I would be coming home, I would be having the freaking Oreos from the freaking cookies and cream, freaking milkshake in my arm, Polynesian strokes on my shirt. Like, it was just like, bro, I cannot do this. So one day, so basically, like, for the most part, I used to work the window, and I would do the drinks. So basically, so I was like, I could just zone out, I could handle this whole area by myself, like, whatever. Then I come into work one day, they tell me, we're going to train you on the iPad. I knew this was going to be my last day at work. It was like 34 degrees outside. So I'm like, bruh, I can't do this. I was out there for probably like 2 hours, and like, one thing about me, I be cold. My body be hurting when I'm cold. Like, I'm just like, no. So that morning, I think I went on my break early, like 10 in the morning. So I had my break, I sat in my car, and I was like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not going back in there. And like, I had called one of my friends, and she was just like, you know, I understand how you feel. She was like, just make the decision that you feel like is best with you. But, and it's just like, I kind of was like already feeling like I would never leave, you know, I would never quit a job without another job in line. Like, I was like, all right, lesson learned. You get what I'm saying? So I felt like, damn, like, here I am, you know. And then I feel like a big part of the stress that I felt was honestly from my friends, but not because my friends like did anything to make me feel that way, but I just knew, like, when I made the decision to like move out of the city, you know, out of the state without a job, like, a lot of my friends were like, are you sure? Like, you know, so I kind of felt like I had to prove to them, like, that I didn't make a bad decision, that like I knew what I was doing. And like I said, like, it's nothing to do with them, but just within myself. So like when I quit Chick-fil-A, I didn't tell none of them. Like they used to be like, oh, when you going back to work? And I'd be like, oh, I'm not on the schedule. Like I'm waiting for the schedule. Like it took a while for me to just be like, fuck it, yo, I quit. Like, you know. But like I said, it's not because of them, but just within myself. Like I just knew I made such a radical decision to like, you know, and I felt almost embarrassed, like, you know, because it's like you tell somebody you gonna move to another state without a job. It's kind of like the given is like, girl, well, how you gonna pay your rent? How you gonna take care of yourself? But like I wasn't operating in the physical. Like I felt as though I was operating in the spiritual. So it's like, you know, when you operate in a spiritual realm, or you know, just with a spiritual mind, you're not like spirituality. Faith is not the physical. It's like all of the things that are unseen. So it's like I know what I feel. I know what God is telling me, but I can't really explain it to, you know, whatever. So anyway, I started working for Chick-fil-A, and like one day, basically, like my friend told me, like, basically the like, girl, like, have you ever been on care.com? So I was like, started like being on care.com, and I just like, long story short, became a full-time nanny. So that's been my life for the last 6 months. Because at this point, I have officially been in Atlanta for 6 months. So the question is, do I regret it? Absolutely not. If I can go back, I would do it again. And the only thing that I would do differently is I would have just started moving my feet instantly when I came here. Like I said, like I didn't start door dashing, like just doing little things until like I was at my breaking point. Like I just would have started doing that more often. But I could truly say that like everything that I have gone through has created a freaking beast within me. Like I have not seen myself so hungry for success and like hungry to get my money up, and like I'll always be like, yeah, I'm gonna do better with my money, like I'm gonna be more disciplined with my money, and never do. But like being in a situation where it's like I know that I don't have a stable source of income, so it's like I literally have to budget my money and make sure that my rent is paid, because I have to keep a roof over my head. And the way my life is set up, it's not like I can like go, you know, stay with a family member or go like, you get what I'm saying? None of that. So it's like I knew like I had to make sure that I was okay. But it's like now it's like I have, you know, different streams of income. Like I'm like, even with like 3, I'm like, all right, what else could I do? You know? Also, since I moved to Atlanta, I did start my acting career, and that's something I love. Like at this point, that's, if it was up to me, I would be in 3 classes a week. And you know, unfortunately, I'm still not as like financially stable that I want to be. But it's like if I had the finances to do 2, I would be in acting classes all week, like literally full time pursuing that. And like in my heart and mind, I believe that I am like still full time pursuing it. But it's just like I have to kind of go at a slow pace because it's all of what I can afford to do at this moment. But yeah, I don't regret it. I would do it again. I love Atlanta. I feel blessed. It's an honor to live here. And at this point, like, I literally, like I said, like I was not going out. Like I made one friend, you know, basically when I was a bottle girl, and like me and her really clicked, and I really liked her. And I'm definitely blessed to like, you know her and like, you know, grow a friendship with her and stuff like that. But other than that, I haven't even been out. Like I even stopped dating because it was just like, what do I really have to bring to the table? Like if a nigga want to take me out on a date, it's like I'm not gonna have anything to wear, or I'll wear this, but when the second date comes, what else am I gonna wear? Like, you know, so it's just like I was just so unsure. I was just so confused. But I feel like once in my mind, I was kind of like, you know, I'm trying new things. Like it sounds good to like try new things, and like because like when I was like moving here, like I was like, all right, like I really want to explore my curiosity, like all the things that I think I want to do or I think I want to try. Like I'm moving to a new city, so like why not do it? But yeah, like so now I'm like, okay, like instead of like feeling upset with myself when I try something and it don't work, I just be like, okay, well at least I know this is not what's for me, you know. But this video is getting long, so I don't want to be too long with it. If y'all want me to make like a part 2 of like what I would do different, or like what I've learned, or you're not gonna go more into that, just let me know. But that is why I decided to move to Atlanta without a job. And like I said, like it just once I accepted the fact that God wanted it for me, I just started doing some self-reflecting, and like I realized like I was getting too comfortable in Maryland. Like I was like, you know, like my hunger to like literally dibble and dabble and put my hands in like different industries, and you know, like I was just content with my job. I was content with getting my master's, content with just living in the city that I went to school with. And not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying like now it's like I'm a training actress. Like I wouldn't have been pursuing that had I not like moved to, you know, this city. And just like there's so much to like try and explore, and just like I said, that sounds like a part 2. So let me know if y'all want that. But I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, but I just really had to become at peace with what I was going through. And so yeah, I'm a lot better. I'm going out now. I guess I can start dating. It's like nah. But yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to like what this year is gonna bring. And so that's why I have my YouTube channel, to make sure that I'm gonna like, you know, bring y'all along, like because I'm just interested to see, like I feel like now I'm like I live in Atlanta, so what's up? Like before it was just like I live in my apartment. But yeah, I'm excited. So if you're at this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And welcome to Britt Nation. You're gonna love it here. But until next time, see y'all.